Hello, I forgot to put on gloves. I'm Silky Kumo. Does this hear me? Ah! One sec. La 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 la. Why doesn't it? Ah! Hello, 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 hello. Why doesn't it hear me? This is very frustrating. Huh. Now? It appears to be working. Woo! Okay. I am Silky Kumo, and today is my birthday. So we're going to make mac and cheese from scratch. Woo! And then once that's done, we've got another surprise coming. I gotta put gloves on 1 second. Hello, it's me. It's me. I should change that. So it's not me. If only I could get the gloves out. That would be ideal. There we go. It's kind of a not fantastic day out. Very miserable. I had to turn the light on in the kitchen here. But I did drag my entire PC set up to the kitchen, so that's fun. There we go. There's my thumb. Oh. Am I stupid? I might be stupid. I can't use studio mode to save my freaking life. If it hasn't already been picked up, hi, I'm Silky Kumo. This is Scufftown Central. We're gonna be making mac and cheese for my birthday. Anyway, okay, so I've got a pot of water here for the mac. Got a big enamel-covered Dutch oven for the mac. I mean, like, I'm going to be making the bechamel sauce in it, and then throwing in the noodles. This is the spoon and pot for something else. I'm going to waddle this very slightly more here. Yeah. Nice. There we go. Nice. Ugh, my neck hurts already. Got lots of ingredients behind the camera. Turns out I don't actually have Mac, so we're using penne. Oops. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start. I've already put water in the pot, so I just got to salt it without knocking over the camera. Yeah, I'm going to try my best today. I got a big jar of salt here. Just indiscriminately pour salt into the water, so it's salted. Reaching around the camera. Throw the lid on. And then max up. How much of that lid showing that? Okay. It's just my big old sleeve. Cool. Okay, so we got the water boiling. In theory, the next thing we're going to want to do is start the bechamel, but I want my cheese ready for that. And I've got a selection of cheese. got almond color. And we've got Parmesan. Which I think it looks like my roommate cut the rind off of. I got too many things going on in here. And I have a text message. Yay. The what? No, I don't want to say gassy. I want to say yay phone. Why? Okay. Cool. I'm going to flip this cover down briefly. Ooh. Now I can't see anything. Just bringing the mic and the webcam over to the cutting board. Yeah, there's a little bit of reflectivity in that. But that's okay. So this is my box grater. It's shiny. We're going to want to grate a lot of cheese for mac and cheese. Because, okay, I guess the recipe I'm using is from Moms on Timeout. Where did that recipe go? It calls for like 6 cups of cheese, like shredded cheese, which is obviously a lot, and I don't think I have that much, so I'm having the recipe, making 3 cups of cheese. Just gonna shred. I don't see how much is being shown, but that's okay. Don't fear the box graters. Kind of. Only slightly fear the box graters. Obviously, when I'm over here, I can't really see chat. But I have my fingers tucked back when I'm grating. Oh, I got cheese all over my soda already. This is freshly washed. How does this always happen to me? Anyway. Ah, shit. That knife was not originally on the cutting board. My roommate came in, cut up an orange with my knife that I was planning on using, and then left it on the cutting board. Almost there. The cheddar. Or not. Yeah, it's smoked cheddar. And then I just kind of smush it into the box grater at the end. Smush it in. Okay. Well, that's already like 2 cups of cheese right there, so I think we're going to be good. There's cheese on my kettle. But yeah, welcome to my kitchen. It's messy, small. What are these green onions for? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Wink. Supplement it with a little bit of Swiss. Man, I'm exploding cheese everywhere. Okay. Whew. For a second, I thought I'd gotten cheese inside the coffee thing. I did not. Oh boy, you're gonna sneeze inside a mask. Maybe not. Okay, we're good. about 3 cups of cheese, give or take. I'm going to shove that to the side a little, make some space. I need some parm, but not a lot. Oh, it's snapping. Hold on. That's what happens. Oh my god! What happens when you remove the rind? Gosh, I'm making a mess. I always hate shredding parm, partially because I don't actually like parm, and partially because it's so hard that it makes it hard to smush it into the grater, like I do with everything else. Because you really gotta put like force in to grate parm. Oh, I am overheating. I'm gonna open the window. Oh shit. Calling it. I don't care. I don't like parm. Okay. Well, that's our cheese ready, so blinding this. I'm bringing us back over to the stove. If I can. Okay, yeah. There we go. I'm going to give this a little stir. I've just been keeping it on low for the last hour. And I'm going to open the window. Huh. I've been told I'm very echoey. Let's see. Is there sound coming from 2 sources? Beep. Well done. Hopefully this will be less echoey. I think I might have had 2 mics going. Oopsies. What kind of cheeses do you put in starter masks? I put in all the cheese I had in my fridge. So I put in about 2 cups of smoked cheddar, a cup of Emmentaler, and a little bit of Parmesan. Looks like the water's boiling. I'm gonna open the window. I'm freaking dying. Here we go. So yeah, it's done. Woo! Okay. Yeah, because I don't have Mac because I'm stupid and didn't actually make sure that I had Mac. What is the time to cook this? $10 minutes. Cool. Sweet. Didn't actually measure how much went in there. I don't care. I'm going to set it for 8 minutes, so it's just under al dente. Al dente? Why did I say dante? And then I'm going to strain it and put it into the pot, because we're going to be putting it in the oven anyway, so it can be a little undercooked. Sounds decadent. Yeah, it certainly is. That's okay. Okay, so let's start on the bechamel. Because we're not making boxed mac, we're going to have to make the sauce from scratch. And traditionally, the sauce for mac and cheese is a bechamel sauce, which is a French sauce that starts as a roux and turns into a bechamel, and then you add cheese. Yeah. Anyway, so the roux is just butter and flour. I should get another spoon for... Giant spoon. Yeah. For the nudes. So we're going to need butter and flour. I already have some butter, unsalted. And according to this recipe, need 3 tablespoons if I'm halving the recipe. So 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup, so I need 3/4 of a 1/4 cup. I'll figure it out. Thank goodness for markings. And I sliced the butter thing. So approximately 3 tablespoons into the pan. Oh, I should probably turn the pan on. That might benefit me. Turning it on a medium on 1 burner instead of 2. And rinsing the butter off with my gloves. What do you call a mythical creature made of cheese? I don't know. Please tell me, but I hope this is going to be good. Gorgonzilla. Oh, God. Get out. Out. That's good. Okay. So next up, we're going to want to add flour once the butter's melted, which it obviously hasn't yet, but I've got some flour, and we'll be adding 1/6 of a cup because it asks for 1/3 of a cup, but I'm having it, so it's 1/6 of a cup. Got my 1/3 cup measurement that I'm just going to fill approximately halfway, and then we can start whisking it together. You might call that a cheesy joke. Oh, God. That is terrible. Also, let me know mic volume in reference to music volume, how that is. I'm going to turn on the fan, though, on low, because it's getting a little steamy in here. I've got 3 burners on, a sweater with the hood up, and a mask. So I'm toasty, like my window's open. And it's not warm outside, but I'm toasty. Okay. Once we've got our butter melted and our flour added, we're going to need some milk and cream, so I'm going to get that out now. I have most things laid out, but I didn't have, like, obviously the dairy products laid out, because that would be silly. Okay. So we need 1.5 cups of whole milk. Where did I put my measure? I found it. 1.5 cups of whole milk. Do this right here. I have no surfaces. Okay. And then cup cream. So it calls for 1 cup heavy whipping cream. Gonna turn it into 1/2 cup because we're having it. So I'm just gonna top up the milk to the 2 cup line with cream. Make my life easier. I lost the milk. I'm not doing this part on camera because I don't have surfaces or hands. You would think with as many limbs as I may or may not have, I'd be able to handle it. Alas, earwax. Okay. Oh! Yeah! Rumi-chan bought a new whisk. I'm going to use her whisk today. Okay, so that's all the butter melted. So, what we're looking for is a 1/6 cup flour, and we're not adding it all at once. I'm just going to pour it into the measuring cup. So we're adding this a little bit at a time so it incorporates properly with the butter. And the noodles are almost done. About a minute and a half left on that. It's a little bit at a time. Sprinkle it in and whisk it up until you don't have any chunks. It'll end up like a pretty solid kind of paste by the time that we're done making the roux here, because see, butter and flour is a roux. But by the time that we're done making that paste, we'll be adding the milk and cream. I might actually lower this a little bit. I think it's too high. Lower it down to 3, because it is fuzzy. Very bubbly. So yeah, once the roux is done, we will immediately start pouring in the milk and cream mixture a little bit at a time to start making what is known as a bechamel. Cool. Probably do with a bit more flour actually in this. It's not quite thick enough, and it might just be because of how frothy it is. Really hope this is flour and not icing sugar. I'm like 95% sure it's flour. Okay, it's starting to come together a little. Shut up! Okay, one moment. I've got a filtery thing. There we go. There's our nudes done. They'll just sit there for now. Keep whisking this. Try not to leave it standing for too long. Well, dessert mac and cheese. Yeah, no thank you. Where's my milk? Okay. I'm calling it thick enough because I don't care. So we're going to slowly start incorporating, like a little bit at a time, the milk with the butter roux. Oh, here we go. Here's where it gets chunky. Look at that. It's funny, as soon as like the milk's added, the butter stops frothing and freaking out. But we want to make sure that the milk and butter are fully incorporated with one another. I'm not very good at pouring. So that we end up with a nice, creamy, smooth mixture. Look at that. So soon, once the milk is nicely incorporated with the butter flour roux, we're going to start adding the cheese and letting it melt in. This whole time continuously whisking. We don't want to let it sit for too long because otherwise it will burn. Your arm may get tired in this process because mine is already getting there. Oh boy. So at this point it's like very liquidy, so I'm just saying F it and dumping in the rest of the milk and cream. And because it's still quite cold, it should take a second to burn, so we can go and grab the cheese. Thank you, Ninja! Appreciate you stopping by and thank you for the happy birthday. We'll be right back soon. Okay, awesome. We just made a bechamel sauce for the mac and cheese, and I can explain that when you're back. I just grabbed like 3/4 of a cup of cheese, which is probably more than I should have at one time. Added it to the mixture, and I'm just going to whisk until it melts nicely in. Currently it's all stuck in my whisk though. Once the cheese is fully incorporated, then we're going to season the mixture with salt, pepper, paprika, and I like to add a little bit of cayenne. Yeah. Then we can add the pasta. Okay, let that melt for a second. I just realized I had to prep something. That's still very hot. I put the pot on a spare oven mitt on my bench thing. Okay. New pan. You can add a little butter to that pan. A little spat of butter. Turn it on low. Let that melt. Check on the cheese. So that's going to be a Parmesan butter mixture thing that's going to be incorporated with the breadcrumbs into the topping. Because once this is set up, like, we could just let it thicken up and eat it. Or we could throw on breadcrumbs. My face is getting sweaty, I'm pulling down my mask. Or we could throw on breadcrumbs and bake it in the oven, because obviously, like, that's what we're going to do. It's decadent. We're making decadent birthday mac and cheese. Duh. Sorry. I'm being a shithead. Please ignore me. Okay. This cheese is a lot more incorporated. We can still see little bits of, like, the edges of the cheese, but timed out a bit more. This is mostly Emmental, so less of the brown backing. Okay, butter is melted already. Maybe I should have added more. What does the recipe say? Ah, I see. You can actually kill the heat on this already. So I've added Parmesan to the pan with the butter. Mix this a little bit more. Breadcrumbs to that in a moment. Hopefully not melt my spoon. This is looking really creamy. I'm going to add the rest of the cheese to that. Being in front of that window is glorious. It's so cold and wonderful. I'm pretty sure my computer also gives off like an ungodly amount of heat. I've got 6 fans in the goddamn thing. Oops. Okay, let that sit for a second. Finish wiping off the cutting board of cheese because we're going to need it later and it's something that probably shouldn't be overly cheesy. Which is still a mystery. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, how much breadcrumbs do we need? I've got some panko. Three-quarters of a cup. God damn. Should I measure it? I should measure it. I'm like just scooping out with the quarter cup. Probably not the best method. Whatever. Oh, this didn't go. That's fine. I could use more butter. I'm going to add more butter in a second. This is looking real good. I'm going to add the mac. Thick with several C's, yes. Okay, I got more butter in there. Let's not melt the spoon, Sophie. No spoon melting. Okay. Now let's salt. Okay, so I've got a container of salt. And I'm just going to indiscriminately add a lot of it. Mix it in. Salt isn't inherently bad for you. We all need salt in our diet. But too much salt can definitely overpower the flavor. Not enough salt will make the flavor very dull. So salt helps to accentuate the flavor. Also, I'm cracking pepper over this. I like pepper a lot, so I'm putting a lot of pepper in. A bit of cayenne. Because I like my mac to have a bit of a kick. Okay. And then a bit of paprika. And then let's mix it all up. It's a lot more colorful now, and I'll test it in a second. Let's check on this butter. I probably should have turned the element back on. So never mind on that front. Okay, let's flavor test. Got my little spoon. Now that the flour's been cooked, it's safe to try. Come on. I might have put too much salt. No, it's okay. It's just a bite of the cheese. The smoked cheddar really overpowers the flavor. It's interesting. Well, I should probably stir this. Okay. Okay, let's add the pasta. I should have buttered it or oiled it or whatever. Because it's kind of clumpy right now. Okay. So let's get the noodles nice and friendly with the sauce. Look how delightfully cheesy that is. Oh my goodness. Okay, and it's, oh, I should have preheated in the oven. Oven 350. There you go. Let's make this kitchen even hotter. I missed a noodle. Well, that gives the topping time to cool. But once this is in the oven, we're going to get started on our second dish. This is pretty much done. Once this butter melts, we can try to incorporate it in better with the parm. That's just a chunk of parm. Can't really see it past the huge Dutch oven, but anyway, I can let that sit basically until the oven is to temp. Just gonna stir this a little bit so it doesn't burn. I turned off the element for the mac. Okay, so I guess while I'm waiting for that to get to temp. Yeah, mac and cheese is a surprisingly easy thing to make on its own, like at home. You don't necessarily need a box of mac and cheese. I'm not going to dox myself with what we call it in my country. Anyway, but yeah, it's not exactly the most healthiest. There's lots and lots of cheese, which can do fun things to your digestive tract. But it's a good thing to have every so often. And this will generate some leftovers for me this week for lunch, so that's exciting. But yeah, super easy to make. Oop, shit. Oopsies. Throw that around a little. The other thing that we're going to make is something I've never made before, so it's going to be very scuffed. And it's going to require a few steps. So first we're going to make the sauces for the surprise thing I'm going to make, which I'm going to announce as soon as I throw the mac in the oven. So first we're going to make the sauces. One of them is literally just mayo, which I'm almost out of, but not completely, so yay. The other sauce we will make together. Then we're going to prep the innards of the thing. Then we're going to prep the outards of the thing. And then we're going to mix it all together. Woo! So it's a multi-step process. This will be, like, it'll take more time. I should drink water. I'm just standing in front of the window. It's glorious. Okay, checking on that. Checking on the nothing. Okay, well, that's kind of a bust, but that's okay. I'm gonna kill the heat on that. Okay. I'm making this thing that I'm stirring over here is Dashi Stock, which is like a anchovy and I think kombu or like seaweed based Japanese stock, which I made far too much of, but that's just the nature of the little pouches that you can buy to make instant stock, because I wasn't going to make the stock itself because that ain't me. Although I do have a freshly made pork stock concentrate in the fridge, but that's my roommate's. Oh yeah, it's hot in here. Okay, come on oven, get hotter. Okay, I'm gonna start brushing down the sides a little bit. I always get like super burnt bechamel along the sides of this pot. Makes it a pain in the butt to clean. In addition to the fact that this pot weighs like 10 frickin' pounds. I'm glad I have a very large sink. Yeah, so I ended up managing to get, like, I have recently got a coupler for Ethernet cables. So I've got 2 Ethernet cables daisy chained together from my bedroom where the router is into the kitchen. So that's why we have stable internet. We're not relying on my wireless router. I bit my tongue really, really hard yesterday. It still really hurts. Not happy. Like, I keep on thinking that I've got like a canker or something on my tongue. And no, it's just because I bit it so goddamn hard. Imagine having Ethernet can't give you all a happy birthday. Thank you for the happy birthday. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, fortunately, because I live just with my roommate, we can set up the router however we feel like. And it happens to be in my bedroom, so it makes it super convenient for me. Less so for her, but we recently like strung up a 50-foot long Ethernet cable along all the doors so that, and like through a vent so that she could get Ethernet in her room. But yeah, Now I have Ethernet in the kitchen, but in doing that, stole one of her Ethernet cables. Shh. She knows, don't worry. She's got a wireless card as well. Okay, we're about 50 degrees Fahrenheit off from where we need to be to put this in the oven. Because it's supposed to go in at 350 Fahrenheit. This is thickening up quite nicely. That's all we're really waiting for before putting this in the oven and having gooey mac and cheese for dinner. And this goes in for about half an hour. And I'm impatient and didn't plan anything to talk about in the time that the oven heats up because I forgot that I have to wait for the oven to heat up. Okay. 35 more degrees. I can math. It was at 315 and I'm like, that's 45 degrees. I'm thinking in like 60s instead of 100s because of time and not real life. My brain. I'm very, very warm. Can I open the window more? It is snowing outside and I have the window open right now. Okay. About 25 degrees off, so we're gonna add the topping now. Ooh. Okay, it's probably good for the whisk. Just gonna put it on my little spoon rest. Take my little panko butter parm topping and kind of evenly shake it out onto the mac to get a nice breadcrumb topping. Oh yeah, there's the spoon I was using. Okay, perfect. This can be put off to the side on my handy dandy extra oven mitt. I've got like a silicone oven mitt that honestly gets used more as like a pot rest than it does an oven mitt. We only really use it when we're like pouring liquid or something and can't use the fabric oven mitts. 14 degrees. Come on, oven. You can do it. I believe in you. Gonna give the dashi a stir. Change up my recipes. Okay. Nope, I don't want this one. Okay, we're 4 degrees off and I'm impatient. Oh God, let's not bake the cables for my microphone. This is gonna go in the oven. I need oven mitts. Because it's hot from being on the stove. Okay. Set a timer for 30 minutes. We'll check on it like about 25, see how it goes. Stove. It's very messy now. That's a cast iron pot full of oil from the last 3 days. Welcome back. How's it going? Hope you're having an amazing birthday. I am. Thank you. So, missed most of the mac and cheese part. Basics of that. Make a roux, which is flour and butter, stirring constantly with a whisk. Add milk. That makes a bechamel sauce. Constantly whisk. Add an ass ton of cheese. Make sure that gets all blended nicely. Add the pasta. Add a topping. Make sure to salt, pepper. Add any other spices you want. I add paprika and cayenne. And then throw it in the oven for half an hour at 350 Fahrenheit. So now we're going to start the second part, which was a mystery. Woo! that's the mystery. I added an image. We're gonna make some goddamn takoyaki! I'm really excited to make takoyaki from scratch. I've never done this before. It's going to be a trial. The first thing we're gonna do is make the takoyaki sauce. So like the toppings. I have a bottle of Kewpie mayo already. It's not what I thought it was. Kewpie mayo. We're running a bit low. Oh, we need to make takoyaki sauce. So, I don't have that. I'm making like 3 different things to get it done. But we're gonna put it in a little bottle and squeeze it out. Takoyaki, let's go. So I don't have a takoyaki like pan, but I have something that's a little bit bigger than that. So we'll see how it goes. It's not mine. My roommate's Danish. And her family gave her this like little cast iron pan thing for a Danish dish that I can't pronounce. So we're gonna be using this to make takoyaki. Thank you for telling me that my oven's to temp. It's already in there. Fight me. Maybe we have octopus. Fortunately, the grocery store near me sells octopus. So we're going to chop up half of this because we actually need one of the tentacle pieces. There's 2 in here. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of it. Maybe grill it or something tomorrow. Okay, so the sauce. Got some trout. Oh, you don't know what takoyaki is. Okay, so see in the image to like my left, how are these little balls? They're these little dough balls that are fried with octopus inside. They're a popular like Japanese bar food kind of thing. Very popular among Westerners. Traditionally topped with like a couple sauces, bonito flakes, which I could not get, so we don't have bonito flakes, I'm sorry. I can't see them dance in the heat. Sounds good, yeah. It's hopefully gonna turn out well. So for this, we're following Just One Cookbook, her recipe for takoyaki. Good old Japanese snacks. Yep. Just One Cookbook is amazing. I love her recipes. I have never had a bad experience following any of her recipes, so I recommend checking her out. Namiko Chen is her name. But yeah, we're going to be following her takoyaki recipe and also the recipe for takoyaki sauce, which in turn uses her recipe for, for mensuyu sauce. Men is noodle, suyu, I guess soup base, I don't know. But it's a noodle soup base sauce. And the recipe calls for a lot more than we actually need. But it needs sake, mirin, which is a sweet seasoning, liquid seasoning, soy sauce, kombu, and one second. Bonito flakes, which we don't have. So what I'm gonna do is for the kombu and bonito flakes, like sub, I'm just gonna add more of this dashi broth that I've had sitting here on low for the last 2 hours. It's very common to find takoyaki festivals. Yep. Do you have any issue eating an animal with as many legs as you? I mean, if you eat like cows or pigs, they in theory have as many arms and legs as you, so it's kind of the same question. In every Slice of Life show ever, there's a summer festival episode where they always eat takoyaki or dango. Yeah, we've made dango before. Well, my roommate made dango, and that was really good. The sauce she made for it was so good! And dango are little like rice flour dumpling things on a stick. Oh, you're a bit of a newbie. Well, welcome. to the world of weebs. Okay, I'm obviously slacking off here a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna get out the mirin. Soy sauce I think I left out. Oops. And the sake. And this is where it's gonna get fun because it's my freaking birthday. We're drinking cheap sake. Woo! We got sake. We got mirin. And we have soy sauce. Okay. Ooh, fucking hot. Okay. So the recipe for takoyaki sauce calls for only a teaspoon of mentsuyu sauce, or soup base. So you really don't need a lot. So I'm just gonna build it in the dispensing bottle thing. So I'm gonna take like a little bit, like less than a teaspoon of the dashi. Maybe a little bit more. Let's F it. Okay. A little bit of dashi. The tiniest amount of mirin. But a bit more than I did of the dashi. Okay. Now we've got mirin and dashi in here, but it's really hard to tell because they're both clear. So many people, have birthdays in the first quarter of the year. Wonder why. Let's think 9 months back from springtime. Adding a little bit of soy sauce. I don't want to think about that. Let's be real. So now we're getting a little bit of color in here. And before we add the sake, woo! Let's get some sake cups out. Mostly just this little egg-shaped espresso cup. And we'll crack open some sake. There we go. Not doing it on camera because I am bad at pouring and I can't really pour directly onto here because this is a hot element. But yeah. Come by. Not bad, not bad. Can add a little bit of the sake now to this. A drop. Give it a little swirl. Okay, and that's approximately our teaspoon of mentsuyu. Okay, so let's move on to the next step of the takoyaki sauce recipe. So we're gonna make 3 tablespoons, approximately. First thing it calls for, or I guess the next thing, half a teaspoon of ketchup. In the fridge we go. Grab some ketchup. Have an extra for you for the the sake. Oh, don't you worry. That bottle. Actually, no. I'm not gonna finish the bottle tonight. I will die. I have work in the morning. I've had times with drinking not a bottle of sake this big, even like a smaller bottle of sake, an entire bottle of it in one night did not go well for me. Okay, let's try to carefully add half a teaspoon of ketchup without measuring out of a glass bottle. What could go wrong? After the ketchup, we're gonna add some sugar. Okay. Yep, cool. Got some ketchup in there. These are pastry decorating bottles, but they're going to work perfectly for doling out sauce in pretty little lines. Okay, sugar. 3/4 teaspoons. So I'm going to take a full teaspoon and eyeball it because I am uneven. It's got some sugar. Gonna dump it in the bottle. Even if it's a little bit more than required, because this recipe calls for Japanese Worcestershire sauce, which is sweeter and less sour than Lee and Perrins, which is what I have. Where is it? We're gonna want the sweetness to really come through a bit more so that it doesn't kick you in the teeth quite as much. You once had a friend drink too much sake, so you encouraged me to share a story. I will, don't worry. That poor friend. Oh shit, I should be measuring the Worcestershire. Oopsies. We need 3 tablespoons of it. Okay, how warm is this? Okay. I'm gonna put this right here for now. Not for long because it's quite hot. 7 tablespoons. Oh, I hate this bottle design. Oh, fuck. Well, that's the story of me and pouring. I'm gonna go do this over there. From afar, I yell into the microphone. I'm honestly too distracted when I'm cooking to even drink. Like, I don't even drink water half the time. It's not good. I should drink water in a second. And clean up the Worcestershire sauce I got on the floor. Oops. Clean up your messes as you go so you don't hate yourself later. Okay, cleaning up the bottle. So now we have our takoyaki sauce. It's looking a little thin actually. I have to put my finger over the cap because it's got like a dispenser cap. I wonder how I can thicken this up a little bit. Maybe I will add a little more ketchup. Let's drink sake. You hear it's a lovely fireside drink? I'd say so. But because I tend to drink it out of smaller glasses, it makes it hard and I'd have to bring the bottle with me. When you're a very new anime fan, you didn't know what sake was, and you thought it was just a special drink served at parties and special occasions. But like, osake literally just translates to alcohol. Get this lovely rice beverage. Malted rice beverage or whatever it is. It's yummy. Okay. So next we got to prep. Let's prep the outside first, actually, of the takoyaki. So we're going to want to prep the batter. So I finished all my orange juice so that I could use this bottle to fill it with batter. So let's do that. Looking up the recipe. Okay, so we need 1 cup of flour. And in order to get it into here, I have my handy dandy whisk. My whisk. If you haven't tried sake and you are of legal age or able to drink and are comfortable with drinking, I recommend trying it. Maybe not the exact one I'm drinking right now because it is the cheapest sake you can get in the West. And it's not fantastic, but yeah. But I do recommend starting with something like it because it's clear, it's less weird. They make depending on like how refined it is different types of sake. I like how filtered. So this is called Snow Maiden, Tozai Snow Maiden. You might be able to see that there's like white chunks in the bottom, which is just, it's rice. So you gotta mix it up when you serve it. But this is warm, so we're not having any because I haven't cooled it yet. You remember watching a show and thinking, wait, how did they get drunk all of a sudden? Oh no. Okay, where is my measuring cup? That was a rhetorical question. It's still in the drawer. I'm running out of space over here. Okay, Mirren, you're finding another home. Same thing with you, Takoyaki Sauce. Okay. Just measure out a cup of flour. Just not enough. I like to store my flour in glass jars like that because I have A, so many of them, and B, it makes it like a lot easier to pour and like less likely to find ants in your flour. Careful. Oh shit. We're getting flour on the hot cooktop. Getting out of the way. Doing this over the sink because I'm dumb. Okay. And I'm going to pour this over the sink too. Don't drink alcohol. Don't smoke, vape, drink, order drugs or anything. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I guess I should try to describe the taste of sake. Cool, okay, cool. Flour is now in the whisk. Now I just gotta get it into the bottle. Yeah, the taste of sake is very light. It's like very non-offensive. It's not very harsh because it tends to be like about 15% alcohol content. So it's not like it bites much like other harder liquors. It can be very like, not creamy, but like milky in a way with the thicker, like the snowy sake. Why can't I remember what kind of sake it is right now? It's quite good. I like it a lot. It's probably like my favorite liquor. This is me just failing at emptying the flour out of the, oh, excuse me, funnel. Almost done. My arms are getting tired again. We have 10 minutes left on the map, but that's gonna need a bit of time to cool down as well. Okay, we got our flour in there. It's hard to tell, but it's in there. Smooth. It definitely has the texture. Oh god, your old boss would have a drink at 40% off and say that's sweet. That's, I think that's him projecting, being like, look, I'm so tough drinking hard liquor. This isn't strong enough for me. I can only drink overproof rum. Overproof rum tastes like gasoline, my dude. Okay, let's quickly wipe up some of this flour. So it doesn't burn quite as much to the element. And hopefully that will evaporate right off. I don't mean to like make fun of your old boss. I just see it a lot in people. Okay, we need to add baking soda now. That sounds toxic. Sorry you dealt with that, yeah. 2 teaspoons of baking powder? Fuck! Fuck, I grabbed soda. One moment. I was so convinced it was soda. I don't know why. I'm not standing on a chair, you're standing on a chair. Okay. You have a history of bad jobs. Oh no. Okay. Got some baking powder, adding 2 teaspoons. Shit. Good thing I'm wearing an apron. Okay. Well, that's the baking powder added. The convenient thing about it being in a bottle is you can just shake it right up. This is honestly me just copying a Japanese VTuber having a takoyaki party. Currently job hunting and not enjoying it. Oh my god, I can imagine. That really sucks, I'm sorry. Half teaspoon of kosher salt. Fuck. Well, this is my life. I got flour all over my foot and the floor. I might mute in a minute to run the vacuum. I don't know. Okay. What's next? 1 teaspoon soy sauce. Okay, that I can do. Got the soy sauce again. And then we need 2 eggs. Got a couple eggs that have been sitting at room temperature. Wonder how putting, oh my god, egg through a, this is hilarious. Egg through a funnel. It was just like this big line of goop. It was pretty great. Ah, shit. That got some shell in it. I think. Maybe not. Anyway. I used the shell to pierce the yolk so that it would force itself through the funnel. Okay. And then lastly, we need 1.5 cups of dashi. So that's going to be this. We're going to use the full cup again. Hopefully it doesn't cook the egg. Yeah, it seems cool enough. Doing this over the sink because I'm a disaster. There we go. 1 cup added. Now we've got about 1/2 cup. I will respond to chat in a second. Okay. Now we've got our batter. We're going to give it a big ol' shake. Put the dashi back here. That's going to be our takoyaki mix. Yeah, not orange juice. Stardom just went through the hunt and was so demoralized. The value and worth. Highly recommend Ask Manager First Name and Interview Tips. Oh, nice. Yeah, maybe go check that out. I have 2 applications rejected and an interview this week, which will probably go badly, but hey, not gonna happen. Well, good luck on the interview. Try to go into it with a positive attitude. Maybe something good will come of it. I topped up my socket glass. It's not great to have a lie on the CV, though. If it's something that's like easily verifiable, like it's not gonna end well. Okay. We're gonna move over to the cutting board now. I'm gonna quickly tidy up and then check on that in the oven. Ooh, it is looking delightfully crispy. It will be coming out in 3 minutes for sure. So now we're going to work on the filling of the takoyaki. I'm just throwing things I'm not using in the sink. So I've got too many things out right now. Where is my sake lid? Here it is. Social awkwardness and slight anxiety doesn't help that, unfortunately. Yeah, I get that. I'm sorry. Whew. Okay. What am I doing? Moving the camera. Okay, we're gonna close your eyes for a moment. Shh. Time to wake up. There we go. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna chop these green onions very finely. I already washed them. Let's brush away some of this cheese. But we've got 2 stalks of green onions that we're chopping. I'm not very fast. I've cut myself before with this knife, actually. I cut through my nail. It was not a good day for Silky. This knife has since been sharpened, but you just want to keep your fingers back. My issue wasn't cutting like this. I was like being a disaster cutting like this. Some cilantro. Gonna get into the whites. Okay, peel back some of this stuff a little bit. So we can get a little bit further into the whites. Okay, that's it for that one. Got a little bit more on this one. Okay, nice. That's our green onion prepped. Brush that off to the side. If you're ever brushing on a cutting board like this, use the back of the knife, not the front, because that'll dull the knife if you use the blade to push. As you can see, our cheese is still out. Shut up, oven. Okay, let's get the oven mitts out. Where are the oven mitts? Oh, there they are. Let's take a quick trip. Crispy! Woohoo! Okay, so we're gonna let that sit for like 10 minutes because it's fucking hot. And now it's octopus time. Wow. That is a lot to deal with, but like with part-time jobs or like jobs that you've had since then, if you can get like at least some references, even if they're not from bosses, like you can get references from coworkers. So if you work with someone that like knows that you're doing a good job and they're like dependable, you can ask them if you could use them as a reference. So like if a job asks for references, you could be like, instead of like recommending your supervisor, you could recommend a coworker or something. Been putting blade side down all your life. Oh no. Yeah, it dulls the blade. Okay, it's octopus time. How are we gonna do this? I cut out the name of the store, or not cut out, but like blacked out the name of the store on the label. My voice is going. So this is cooked octopus, so we don't have to worry too much. So we're only gonna get out one of the tentacles. And we're gonna wanna cut it into chewable pieces. While that happens, or like in a second, I'm just gonna throw this right in the fridge like this, fuck it. Oh, my hands are slimy. I'll bag it properly after. I'm gonna start heating up and oiling the pan off camera. Okay. It's takoyaki time. I'm putting a bit of oil in each of the little ball compartments. Shit. I'm making a mess. And I'm brushing the compartments with the oil to coat it evenly. No. That's unfortunate to hear about the work stuff, though. Like, the whole work thing is kind of tricky to deal with anyway. Look at this. That is glorious. Work kind of sucks, you know? Okay, so let's chop it into little pieces. The method, Just One Cookbook suggests using is dankiri, which is rotating it every cut by a little bit. Kind of hard to do. It's a lot easier to do on a carrot than it is to do on a tentacle that is unfurling itself on you. But we want to end up with some nice pieces that can be put in each ball. I'm going to cut that one in half. That one's a little big. Is this thing being caught? Okay, cool. Monitor's behind me, so I can't tell. I'm kind of unsure of how I want to cut it, honestly. I've never cut octopus before. This is a first for me. The fingers out of the way. I'm going to try the dankiri method now. Yeah, it's working a little bit better on the thick pieces. That one ended up too big though. Okay. That should be it. Nice. So we got our octopus, we've got our green onion, we've got these crispy tempura bits from everything that I've fried in the last 2 days. Salvaged as a crispy filling part, which is actually recommended in the recipe. So we're just waiting for the pan to get to temp so that we can start cooking. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of what you said, Stardom, because that's a huge paragraph, but yeah, that's some good advice. Maybe you could try doing that, Ninja Anime. Work is scary. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that sounds like potentially something that you could try doing. If it's working for them. Come on. Okay. So let's blind the camera again. Good night. And good morning. So we got our little pan here. We're just waiting for it to smoke. And then we're gonna add a bunch of the dough mixture. Dough mixture that I made. Then once it gets a little bit cooked, we're gonna add in the octopus, then some of the crispy bits and the green onions, and then flip it. And I've got some cheapo chopsticks to use. Oh wow! Let's you're gonna really see the element heating up there. Let's try to center this a bit more. The element's a little bit too big for this pan, so that's why you can see it. Yeah, I didn't want to use any of my good chopsticks, so we're using Taco chopsticks. Work is scary, you're lucky. You're a spider. I'm a spider that still has a job. It is known I have a job. Just prepping the chopsticks. Okay, let's okay, I'm gonna put the giant spoon in the mac pot, the whisk in the sink. The spoon can go away. I'm just trying to tidy up while this heats up, so I hate myself a little bit less later. Didn't even end up using this pot, so I can put this away. This pan can go in the sink. This can go away. And we'll try the mac in a minute. Let's try some sake. Yeah, sometimes like you think that maybe it's the best to like push through a shitty job, but then once you're out you realize like how much of an impact it's been having on your mental health, and that even if like you're struggling for a bit to find a job, it might have been for the best to just leave so you can fully concentrate on like finding another job, not under like the crazy stress that you have in a particularly shitty job. Fudge is so cold, I love it. I'm overheating. Ah, that's why I had space here. Okay, well, never mind. Whatever. Putting things incorrectly in the kitchen cabinet. You smoking yet? It is pretty hot. So I'm just going to put away the cheese. And then we'll get started. I have a lot of stuff out. My roommate is not going to like how I wrapped up the farm. There we go. Okay. Oh wow, that is something hard to hold on to and keep it to yourself. That kind of sucks that you've been kind of put into that situation. I lied, I'm not done cleaning up yet. The Worcestershire sauce has to go away. And the sugar that is labeled canola in a strained tomato container has to go away. Okay, I think we're at a good point now. Okay, let's start pouring. So yeah, this actually isn't for takoyaki. This is a little bit bigger than takoyaki balls. This is a Danish pan for a particular Danish dish that I can't pronounce that belongs to my roommate. Okay, nice. That was a lot of it. We're gonna bring, Okay, so now we're gonna add the octopus. Look at that spillover. The spillover is intentional. And then we're going to top it with some of the crispy tempura bits. Some of them will have less because it's kind of stuck in. There we go. Okay. And then add a little green onion. Nice. Let that cook for about 3 minutes. In the meantime, let's try some of this mac and cheese. Oh yeah, Danish butter biscuits are delicious. Tiny pancakes. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never actually had the dish. I was just told about this pan and I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect. Got something similar from the street vendor in the Netherlands. Really just thinking about them. Puffertjes. Had to look up the spelling. I definitely did not pronounce it right because I don't speak Dutch. In your case, with the pan that you're talking about. Drinking sake. Right, mac and cheese. Okay. I'm gonna serve some into a bowl while we're waiting for this to cook for another minute or so, and then we'll start flipping it. Oh shit. Got breadcrumbs everywhere. Okay. Delicious mac. I only put a little bit because my roommate wants to have this with me. I'm feeding her tonight. Okay, let's check a crispy bit. This music. Mmm. The smoked cheddar does really come through still. Very good. Mac and cheese. A success. Ah. I'm trying to thumbs up, but there's a pan in the way. Okay, let's start breaking up these balls. Breaking balls. So we're going to want to start flipping these. And we're supposed to turn it a quarter turn. Oh, it's sticking. That's not good. Do I have this too high? I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Because it's starting to smell a little burnt. Yeah, it's not really coming together, it's just sticking. Oh shit. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer. Awkward. I'm gonna try to put the baking powder away, but I'm too short. Okay, there we go. It's away. Did I turn off the oven? Oops. Mac and cheese is so good. I need more sake. Get that out of the fridge. And put it back in the fridge. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Maybe with a little bit less butchering. Oh no, that's even more pork chunk. Shit. Fuck. Oh, this is not going well. Oh, there, it's starting to fry off. I don't think I oiled it enough. Because it's cast iron, like it really holds on to the heat. Okay, look, now we can turn it. Look at that one. That one worked. My hands are very hot. If you don't have an oven mitt handy, like always just grab a little kitchen towel thing. So let's try to flip this one that I royally effed up. Okay. Okay, cool. Turn successful somewhat. let's try to merge that in. Split this again. Find the crispy edge by which to turn it. This is making me sweat balls even more. Oh gosh. We're only turning it 90 degrees for now. And then once we're done turning these 90 degrees, we start again, but at where we started, and then make it another 90 degrees, so it's a full 180. Okay, yeah, this is turning out a lot better. They're a little bit crispier than I had hoped for, but that's okay. Oh yeah, that's a little burnt. Oopsies. Holy hell, it's a little smoky in here. Good thing all my smoke detectors are removed. Woke up with them going off at 5:30 again 2 nights ago. Okay. So we're starting from here. We're fully turning this over. We'll fully turn this over and shove it back in. Got a little bit on the element, so I just kind of scooted it off. But they're at least ball shaped, so we got that going for us. Just gonna incorporate some of this one into the other one. Okay, and leave that for a couple minutes. Whew. Definitely glad I have the window open with how smoky it is in here now. They look like little octopuses. Well, they're meant to look like little balls. But they're getting there. They're getting somewhere. I'm going to throw the mac back in the oven so it stays warm for Roomy Sean. Okay. Eating a bit more mac. We're also going to top it with a little bit of seaweed because we don't have bonito flakes. So I'll just cut thin slices on top. Just trying to clean up as I go. Make my life easier later. Okay, let's check on these. That side turn is really necessary. Okay, yeah, let's turn this one on its side nicely. It's like the octopuses fell out. They're just splitting in half on me. Oops. It's probably the lack of the proper 90-degree turn. I'm just gonna let that cook a little bit longer. This one can turn. There we go. Scuffed takoyaki. That's what we're here for. We live for the scuff. Okay, let that go a little bit longer. Have some water because we're clearly dehydrated. I've got a plate ready for them though so that we can drizzle them with mayo and the homemade takoyaki sauce. Excuse me, if anyone heard that burp. I'm just going to get a container out for the rest of the stock. Broth or whatever, the dashi. So that it can get to room temperature nicely. That handle was very hot because it was over the takoyaki. Okay. I think they're about done. Almost. The center one's getting pretty mangled. There we go. Okay, in a second I will take them off and put them on a plate. Come on. There we go. Shit. Fuck, come on. Just picking them up with chopsticks. There we go. There we go. So we will let this go for a second before starting the second round because I want to decorate these. Everything's hot. So we're going to decorate it in front of the window. There we go. Let's not get a view of too much of my kitchen. There we go. Good enough. Okay, let's thinly slice some seaweed over top of it. This with scissors makes it really easy. Have have a feeling it's going to be a little overcooked. So, oops. Okay. And then we're going to drizzle it with some of our homemade takoyaki sauce. I'm going to put some oil in that pan, actually. I see oil over here. I also turned down the heat a little bit more. Okay, let's use this takoyaki sauce. It's a little thin, but that's okay. There we go. And there's a browner. I just like how you like your anime waifus. Nice. They're browner than you thought they'd be. Yeah, that's because I overcooked them. Here we are, just adding the mayo. And there we go. Takoyaki. I'm going to get a picture of it because I forgot to do that with Mac. Let's not take a selfie. Okay. Perfect. So that's going to need a second to cool because those are going to be very hot. Just spreading the oil around the pan first. Straight after this, you're gonna go back to being a degen and read some manga. I mean, depending on the manga, not a degen. Reading ecchi manga, probably degen. Drinking more sake. Right after this, I'm going to eat this with my roommate. So once, yeah, this is steaming enough. Let's do round 2. That last one's going to be a little small. Come on. Okay. Good enough? Okay, let's put in the octopus. Putting in more this time. Just so that we can finish it off, the octopus. There we go. Oops, that was probably too much green onion. Whatever. That's later me's problem. I think I might have just put some cheese in there. Oh yeah, and the crispy topping. Almost forgot about that. And let that cook for about 3 minutes, and then we'll start trying to flip it. Okay, nice. Hopefully in a minute, the first batch of takoyaki will be cool enough to eat. I guess you could consider it ecchi. Reading a series called Recently My Sister is Unusual. The anime is not too bad, but oh boy, the manga is spicy. Nice. Have fun. Stardom, if your unweebness doesn't know, ecchi is like, yeah, spicy. Like, how do I word this? Like, a little bit lewd, but not like straight up porn, you know? Okay. What do I need to do? Eat more math. That's what I need to do. I'm just trying to tidy up. The second this is over, I'm going right back to t-shirt mode. I am so sweaty. Alright, I left out enough seaweed, slice up. And my better chopsticks for eating. So we're going to eat a takoyaki ball. See it? No. Okay, well. Itadakimasu. Not fantastic. Like, it's edible. It's not accurate. So, yeah, it definitely is a little bit on the overcooked side. And here we go. Let's turn this halfway. Turn this halfway. Maybe this one first. Yeah, turn this halfway. I guess the last ones were a little bit overflowed. Turn this halfway. This is looking a lot better. Still like as overcooked, but like less falling apart. Turn this halfway. And the last one. Turn this halfway. Nice. Okay. About 4 minutes. But I'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to start putting things in the sink, or from the sink into the dishwasher. Usually use the word spicy to describe ecchi in stories with a lot of mature or adult themed content. Yeah, spicy is a good way of putting it. Excuse me. I go a little bit crazy if the kitchen isn't clean, so that's why I'm like obsessively cleaning. Almost done though. just making sure the orange juice bottle is full of water. Okay. It's everything that needs to go into the dishwasher in the dishwasher. It's been 2 minutes. I'm gonna eat more of this takoyaki. Oh. Mm-hmm. Why I always clean up as I go. So it's less cleanup. It's been 3 minutes, but I'm gonna flip it. Nice, and we're gonna let that go for a minute. I'm gonna put the octopus in a container instead of just the open baggie in my fridge, making it get all fishy smelling. And I will grill that tomorrow. Maybe I'll post a picture of it, maybe I won't, I don't know. Yeah, basically once I'm done, I just gotta move my computer back and then wipe down all the surfaces because I've made a mess on every surface. Sake. I have no sake. Oh, shit. Nearly knocked over my sake glass. Yeah, it's been a pretty uneventful birthday, which is not bad considering the circumstances. I make sure I got all my dishes and laundry and vacuuming and other chores done before today so that we'd have time to all hang out. Uh-oh. I just dropped some on the floor and I'm gonna eat it. I vacuumed literally yesterday. Yeah, it's still got a little bit to go. Okay. I'm probably not gonna try these on stream, but yeah. That's been my birthday stream. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi and wishing me a happy birthday. I hope everyone had fun. I certainly did. And in the process, I also got dinner done. So yay. Did I have any special birthday plans? Not really. Just this. This was my special birthday plan. It's okay. I'm not that big on birthdays, so making something special like takoyaki was kind of just it fit the bill for me. And I usually make my own birthday cake anyway. I didn't make cake, but I made takoyaki. It is so weird that the element glows like purple on this camera. It's red, for the record. And then my favorite comfort food, which is mac and cheese. So, oh, excuse me. And then sake. So it's perfect. Exactly what I want. And I get to celebrate with friends. Thank you, Stardom. And thank you, Ninja Anime. I appreciate you both for hanging out with me, and Wicked Cyrus for saying hi as well. Same about Peppergum birthdays, yeah. Especially as you get a little older. Look, it looks purple! It's red. It is red, I assure you. Yeah. Thank you for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you all. You're all fantastic. I'm not really savvy. Yeah, I will release my schedule probably tomorrow. I'll work on it when I'm at work, because whatever. I'm going to go eat and drink with my roommate so she can partake in this before it gets too cold. So, thank you for stopping by. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, evening, night, morning. I don't know what time it is for anyone. Bye! Oh, I should wave. Bye!